Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Ha! You didn't know I'm going to say that, did you? So I'm, again, as you can see, not in the right room. I'm in my office again. And today is Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday. I exercised extreme restraint and have not done a review on any Schwarzenegger films yet, but you got to do one. I mean, today's his birthday, so got to do it. I still have an hour left until his birthday. I had a lot going on today, but I wanted to film this at night because if I tried to film in this room during the day, there's too much light and there would be a lot of reflections on the posters behind me. As you can see, I have Predator up here now. Last time I had Legend up here. Both Predator and Legend are normally in a different room. Terminator's always here. Terminator 2, excuse me, is always here. I have Terminator 1 in my bedroom. Predator is normally in my gym, and Legend is normally in my bedroom. Anyway, yes, today is Arnold Schwarzenegger's birthday, and I have the shirt on. That was a special edition shirt that the proceeds went to went to charity. So I have this shirt on today for his birthday, 76 years old. So today I am reviewing Sabotage, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously from 2014. It's kind of hard to say, like, what is my favorite Schwarzenegger film, or what is my favorite of a certain genre, or what is my favorite of a certain point. I'm close to saying, like, this is my favorite film after his governorship. Not before, but after his governorship. It's certainly the movie that I have seen the most after his governorship. I used to watch his movies like crazy, like over and over and over. I could just watch them all the time. I literally watched Terminator 2 so many times that one of my brothers couldn't watch it for years. And most of his films, before he became governor, I probably memorized verbatim because I would watch them that many times. I can easily just pop a movie in. Now, there were some that I didn't know that well that were harder to get a hold of. I do currently have, I think, just about everything he's made, but certain things were kind of hard to get a hold of. Happy Anniversary and Goodbye was a little bit difficult to get a hold of. It was a long time until they put Streets from San Francisco on DVD, although that's not a film. What was another one that was kind of hard to get? Scavenger Hunt I always had. I had it on VHS. It took a long time for them to put it on a different venue or different media than VHS. Anyway, I do know most of his movies by heart, and so definitely Sabotage is the one that I've seen the most. I rewatch it because I love it so much. It's one of the ones I've seen the most after his governorship. I think it's the first like serious big. Oh, anyway, we'll get into that. I think it's the first serious big action like Arnold's back movie that wasn't like super comedy, like very serious, a very different. Because right after his governorship, he did The Last Stand, which was like super calm. It was fun. I liked it a lot, but there was a lot of comedy thrown in there and on purpose, which was good. It was fun. But Sabotage was like the first one. And then, Escape Plan with Sylvester Stallone. I like that one a lot too. But he has a smaller role in that. He does such a great job in that. I mean, he does such a great acting job in Escape Plan. And I love the little part where he's in the hot box and he's speaking German. Anyway, Sabotage is the first one that I remember that's like Arnold's back. Like this is a big action movie, very serious, very, very awesome movie. I love this movie. A couple of disclaimers. These videos are completely unedited. I'm normally in my other room, my personal office. This is my work office. I'm normally in my personal office, but they're still doing construction in there. Hopefully this week they'll finish that, and I'll be able to do my reviews on the Star Wars films. I have all my notes. It's just I can't get in that room and do them. And I mean, I really I can't do my Star Wars reviews and not have my Yoda in the background. Gotta have that. So I'm waiting to get back in that room. So anyway, so we're gonna do on Schwarzenegger's birthday. We're gonna do a review of his movie. Sorry, you won't get this posted until the day after his birthday, but I'm recording this on his birthday. And like I said, I probably have every single one of his movies. Okay, so let's get into it. These are completely unedited, unfiltered. So if your kids are in the room, you probably want to either have them go into the next room or put this on headphones because I will curse sometimes. It's just inevitable. It happens. So unfiltered, unedited, just me just chatting about film and going crazy. I will put a list of movies at the bottom that show what movies I give spoilers away for, what movies I just quote, and what movies I just mention, so that you have a list of like, okay, I don't want to hear spoilers for a certain movie. Well, then look at the list and you'll get a list of what I give spoilers for. Okay, so let's get into Sabotage. I could literally talk about this all day long. I love it. I'm going to try not to. I actually wrote notes this time. Unlike when I went and saw Legend, I saw it at a theater, so... in town, so the Academy Museum. So I didn't take notes, but I did take notes on this. That opening scene, like right away, the opening scene, the video recording of his wife being tortured and killed. I mean, that is the opening scene, that's the first thing that you see, sets the tone that this is not like any other Schwarzenegger film to date. This is very serious. This is going to be gritty. This is going to be good. And then like it right after that video, it cuts to the QED Productions or whatever, and then the title Sabotage, but it's transparent so you can still see what's going on. And I love that I can tell, maybe not everybody can tell, I can tell those are Arnold's hands. And he's got blood on him, and you see him, it looks like he dips his hand in the water and cleans them. But it's Sabotage, it's in the background of that. I love that. It was such a great choice to do that. I really appreciate that. And like I said, it really sets the tone for the movie. The first mission... So after that, after the little title scene, their first scene right after that is they're going on the mission, and you get with their witty banter in the truck as they're going to the mission, you get that this crew is really tight. And I gotta say, I love just about everybody in this movie. Everybody does such a great job acting wise. It really does. It really does make a difference when you have an ensemble cast and everybody's on point. So I really just want to mention everybody. Sam Worthington is great in this movie. I don't always love him, but in this, he does such a great job. And it almost didn't look like him, with his shaved head and the braided goatee. It almost didn't look like him. He does a really good job. Terrence Howard, I love him he does a really good job in this movie. I wish he had more to do in this movie. He's kind of sidelined for most of the movie on purpose, and you'll find out why. But he's kind of sidelined through most of the movie, and I wish he wasn't. I wish he was more prominent. Olivia Williams is fantastic as Caroline, the detective. Joe Manganiello, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's great as Grinder. Josh Holloway as Neck, Max Martini as Pyro. He's wonderful. I mean, everybody is really, really good in this movie, and I really appreciate. It's such a great ensemble cast, and I'm gonna say this wrong, I'm sure. Marielle Enos, as Lizzie. God, she blows me away. She blows me away in this movie. She's so damn good. She's in another movie with Brad Pitt, World War Z. Great, fantastic, amazing movie. And she plays a mom in that movie, and it's like night and day, these two characters. If you see her in that movie, or if you've already seen that movie and then you haven't seen this movie, watch this movie and it'll blow you away. She's so good in this movie. So anyway, let's get back to the movie. I just wanted to mention the cast because they are so good in this movie. I mean, I can't not mention each one by name. They're great. That first scene, like I said, you get a sense as they're in the car. You get that sense that this is a really tight crew. They've been working together a long time because of all the witty banter and the fun stuff. I love that. I love that Arnold is older. I love that he's playing older and he's playing the captain or whatever, the lead of the DEA agent. It's such a beautiful role for him to take on at that point in his life, at that age of his life. The look, the movement, everything. He does such a great job, and I'm like, yeah, Arnold is back. He may not be the 40-year-old Arnold, in these movies behind me, but he's playing his age, and he's doing it fantastic. I love it. He's such a natural leader in this film because you already know his as an actor. You've already seen so many Arnold movies, and he's done so much. He's got such accumulated, and then he slips into this role where you automatically feel like he's the leader, and he does it such a great job. So that first mission. In the first few minutes, you go, okay, here's the DEA group. They're a tight group. They're whatever they're doing, and then they steal the money, and you're like, oh man, they're stealing it, like, and then he's delaying his superiors. Arnold is delaying his superior, and you're like, oh man, is that what this movie is going to be about? A dirty crew, and the name of the title of the movie is Sabotage. Okay, damn, is that what this is going to be about? I was a little, you get that little bit of disappointment, but then not long after, when the guy gets shot, oh man, I can't remember who gets shot because he's almost not in the film. Almost, he's barely in it. Smoke Jennings, I think that's who. Mark Schlegel. I don't think you ever really see him in the movie because he gets shot that first time, and I think he's in a quick scene in the background. You hardly ever see his face. I don't think he even has a line, which is unfortunate. But anyway, he gets shot and killed in that first scene, and then Grinder says, "This is not now. We're just like them. This is not who we are." Then you get that sense of okay, this is probably a first time thing. Like this crew doesn't always steal. And that's important because you're watching the opening scene and you're like, okay, who are these guys? And at first you're like, okay, they're DEA, and you believe that they're DEA, and then all of a sudden they're stealing the money, and you're not used to that with Arnold. The type of roles he's taken on so far, so you're like, it's a little jarring, like, oh damn, they're stealing the money. But then Grinder says, this is not us, we don't do this. And then you go, okay, so this is like a first time thing. So you're still trying to feel out this group. This is literally like the opening couple of minutes. So you're still trying to feel out this group and figure out what's going on. And then they steal the money, and the guy who gets shot in the neck, they take him out, and Arnold blows up the money, so the rest of the money, so that they're stealing the money. Watch the movie. So they put it down the hole or whatnot, and then they blow up the money so that hopefully nobody knows how much is there. And then literally right after that, they go down into the sewer to get the money, and holy shit, like you're talking about like the opening like 5-10 minutes of the movie, and they stole this money. This is the first time they did it, DEA crew, and then the money is not there. The rope is cut, and they find that bullet there, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay, you just set up this movie perfect. Like, oh shit. The first 5 or 10 minutes, all that happens, and all that set up, and you're like, oh great. Now what's going to happen? And everybody's like, where'd the money go? Who got the money? Look around. And then they see the bullet. Well, this was done on purpose. This was not an accident. The rope is not a clean cut. It's frayed. So okay, you're thinking, okay, it's possible maybe it got tangled on something and broke. But with that bullet there, that's not an accident. So now you're like, holy shit. Okay, what the fuck is going to happen now? And then right after that, I like that. Remember when I talked about in the review of Snatch, I like the opening scene, the way they did it. It's fucking fantastic where they introduced everybody. Well, this one is really cool because yes, we just saw them do a mission together, and yes, everybody was calling by each other's name, but it was going so quick, it was kind of hard to like catch on to everybody and who everybody is. So right after that, the interrogation videos, I love the grittiness of the interrogation video. So it's not like the audience is watching the interrogation videos or interrogation. It's like we're watching the videos, we're watching the evidence, and I love that David Ayer decided to do that. It's a really good choice, and I enjoyed it. I like that introduces everybody. So now we're watching the video, and it's, this person is being interviewed, this person is being interviewed. So now we get a little glimpse again of each person's personality, and we get their name. And so we can put a face to a name right away. So it's a very smart idea to do when you have such a large cast and things are going quick. I mean, this movie is only an hour 40 something, right? Yeah, hour 49. So the movie is going to move quick. There's a lot to do. So it's very smart to like, let's just put a face to a name real quick. It doesn't take long, and it's important because you're doing the interrogation, so it's furthering the plot. It's not like Snatch where it's not furthering the plot. It doesn't matter. Snatch was great. I loved it. I'm not saying that was wrong. I'm saying this is different, and I like it. I like the way they did this one to introduce everybody. God damn, like, holy shit. John Breacher's house is gorgeous. I mean... I would get anything to live in a house like that. Not just the look of it, because when they show the outside, you see the landscape of it, and then later on when they're having the party, you see the view of the lake, and you're just like, God, I fucking love to have this house. It's gorgeous. Like, holy shit. So not only do you get the sense that, obviously Breacher is the leader, and they're a DEA group, and they've been working for a long time, but you also get the sense that he is seasoned. He knows what he's doing. He's been around, and he has the money to have this house. They haven't said anything about his, I mean, of course, maybe he could have inherited it or whatnot, but you get that sense that he's been doing it long enough that he has the money to buy this house, to afford this house. Oh, yeah. Okay, so a little side note that I appreciated because I identified with it. In that opening scene when he's, not opening scene, sorry, stop opening scene, no opening scenes anymore. In that scene in the house when they first show him after everything, that first scene, he's going through the routine. So he's making, he opened the tuna, he's eating the tuna. And I appreciate that part where he's straightening out he's straightening out his shirt. Why do I appreciate that? He's pulling down his shirt, pulling it a little away. Why? Because Arnold doesn't look like he used to in his 40s. His body is changing. I'm assuming when he was the governor, he probably wasn't hitting the gym as much, and he doesn't look like he did before. And that little bit of self-conscious, like making sure that that your shirt isn't showing off your fat, or your shirt isn't showing off, your fat or your body, because you're not in love with your body at that moment or whatever. I can absolutely identify with that because I do that all the time. I've done it most of my life, pulling my shirt away, pulling my shirt down, making sure my shirt is big enough. And I just appreciated that because I appreciate that they left it in. I don't know if David Ayer gave him the direction to do that, like, I want you to do this, or if they just caught it. Arnold just kind of did it in one of the takes and they left it in. I appreciated it because it gives a little more of a realness to him and his character, and he's no longer like the untouchable like he is in Predator, when he's in Predator, he fucking amazing, and it's almost it's a larger than life. So the thing with Predator and Terminator and a lot of the stuff that he did when he was younger, it's larger than life, almost like You'll Never Untouchable, larger than life. That real quick clip of him adjusting his shirt brings it home and real. That's what I love about this movie. That's what I love about this character. This whole movie feels like it totally could happen. Absolutely. It doesn't ever, in my opinion, it doesn't ever feel outside the realm of possibility. And I love this movie for that. And it captivates me. It gets me in there. Here's Arnold, and he's quote unquote touchable. He's relatable. He's real. He's not larger than life, but he's still Arnold. He's still great. I appreciated that. I'm probably talking about that scene too much, but it really brings home the realness of this film and this character. Right after that, he goes outside. The guys are on a stakeout watching him. The pee in the bottle. Okay. my friend who got me to do these videos. Okay, he also has a bottle in his. So I guess people with smaller bladders gotta have a bottle. I guess they were there obviously all night, watching, making sure he wasn't going here. I just cannot fathom peeing in a bottle. I cannot. I know a lot of guys say the great thing about being a guy is you can pee anywhere. Okay, to a degree, I don't mind that. I can pee in certain areas. I do have I guess a shy bladder or whatever you want to call it. Uncomfortable at the urinal. I don't know what you call it, but yes, I'm not great going to the bathroom when I know somebody's watching. And to have a bottle that you pee in, I can't fathom that. I'm like, what? Especially with a guy standing right next to you. Maybe I could pee in a bottle if I went out in the dark and I went, in the bush and then peed in the bottle, maybe. But then, why? Anyway, I love that little quick workout scene. So this whole little piece brings home the fact that he's real. It also brings home the fact that he's on restriction. Obviously, he's not able to be with his group because of this missing money, this missing $10 million. So that quick little workout scene makes it real, and it also makes it a little more mundane. You get that he's kind of stuck, not doing what he wants to do. I love that. Right after that, I laugh every time. Arnold in a cubicle. He looks so out of place. He looks so out of place in that suit. I don't know what tweed suit almost. I don't know what fabric that is, but it's just him in the cubicle in that suit on the keyboard in spreadsheets and numbers. I'm like, this is the last thing I would this is the last type of scene I would put Arnold in. And I love it because again, it brings home the realness of it, but it's just too funny. Arnold in a cubicle. Oh, the place looks like a fucking crack house. I love when he goes back to the team and they're just lost without him. Even before he shows up, they're just a ragamuffin, a gang. It's a crack house. It looks like shit when he walks in there. He's like, what's going on? What the hell's going on? What happened when I was gone? They really can't. They really can't survive without him. He's the one that holds them together, and you get that. And whether or not, I think a couple of times they make a joke like "you're not my dad" or whatever, or "you're not dad" or whatever. But he really is definitely the leader of the group, and they couldn't do anything. They wouldn't be nothing without him. And just before they train, man, Lizzie on drugs. That's gotta suck. I mean, I get that. To a degree, a DEA agent has to know a lot about drugs and the effects of and blah blah blah. Especially if you're undercover, you've gotta know. Like Denzel says or his character says in Training Day, a narcotics officer should know and love narcotics. You should understand. You should be able to, You turn down shit on the street and your wife is getting a crisply folded flag or something like that. Yes, you've gotta, if you're undercover, there is a degree to it, and I think it's ridiculous for a department to think that if you're undercover, you have to stay clean. Fuck that. If you're undercover in the drug world, you're gonna end up having to do drugs. I mean, and it's over and over and over in themes and movies. I love it. Even Jack Bauer in 24, I think it's season 2 or 3. I love that he is trying to kick his habit, and his habit was because he was undercover trying to take down, a drug cartel or whatever. So it's the same thing here, but it sucks that she's in that moment, when he looks at her and says, you said you were going to you're going to take the downtime to work on yourself. They're undercover. She's done it while she's undercover, but she is hooked. And that sucks. Because you're an agent, anyway, that I like that again, all of this is very, it just brings home the reality of the situation and makes it real. And that first training run, they really just fell apart. They're not as clean and crisp. They're not a team anymore. And that great line, here's the funny thing. Every time, I found this very interesting. Every time they need to further the story with dialogue, or further the situation with dialogue, who did they turn to? Almost every single time, watch the movie, Sam Worthington. I find that interesting that almost every time Sam's character, Monster, talks to Breacher. Monster talks to Breacher. And it happens 4 or 5 times. Actually, probably more than that, because then eventually it's Monster who goes to Caroline. So almost every time they need to further it and they need somebody, I guess he just thought, who can handle the drama? Who can handle that acting, that side of it, the acting, the drama? Give it to Monster, give it to Sam Worthington. And he does a great job in this. He just had a lot to do. They could have given it to somebody else. I'm sure one of the other guys could have done it. Like I said, Terrence Howard is in the background a lot, but there's a point, there's a reason for that. But Joe Manganiello, I'm sure they could have given him a couple of the time, 1 or 2 of the times that Monster goes to Breacher, especially that first one. I think if you were really going to mix it up and really get one. Grinder is the one who does the right thing later on. So why can't you have Grinder be honest with Breacher in the beginning and give that little scene to Grinder instead of to Monster? Because the movie is monster heavy. Sam Worthington, it is heavy every time they want to move the plot along. But they could have given a couple of those scenes to him. Anyway, I love that part where he says there is no trust. In what we do, there is no there is only trust. So they've fallen apart, and when Breacher comes back, he kind of pulls them together and wakes them back up. Like, we're a team. We've got to be a team, regardless of what's happened. The money is gone. Smoke died. I get it. This is a tragedy. This is horrible. But we've got to pick up and we've got to move on, and Breacher's the one that gets them to pick up and move on, and I like that a lot. I love that little scene. It gets you to realize that he's the one that's holding them together. Okay, so when Neck gets killed, is it Neck? No, it's Pyro. When Pyro gets killed in the Winnebago, or the trailer, hit by the train, and Breacher first meets Caroline. I love her. She does such a damn good job. Olivia Williams as Caroline. When Breacher comes and then Breacher goes away, and then oh damn, I don't want to get his name wrong. Is he not here? Come on now. Top cast. Okay, he's not in the top cast, which is sad. He should be. Where is he? Okay, okay, this is bad. I'm horrible. Hey, Tank. Smoke. Lizzie, Smoke. Floyd. Floyd's there. Okay, Sniper Stan Morris. Jackson. That's not what she calls him in the movie, I don't think. That's why I couldn't find Harold Perrineau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right too. Harold Perrineau. Jackson. That's not what she calls him in the movie, I don't think. She calls him Darius. She calls him Darius, doesn't she? I'm almost positive. That's weird that they wouldn't have his name in the cast on IMDb as Darius, because that's what she calls him, like almost every single time she calls him Darius. Right? Oh my God, I hope I'm not wrong. All these pop-up crap. Like, stop popping up. I just want to... Okay, I'm not going to waste my time doing this. This is stupid. I'm almost positive his name is Darius, and I don't know why they don't. I don't know why. You know, I just ruined this whole video being frustrated that. Why are they calling him Jackson in the cast on IMDb? Okay. Anyway. Okay. Reset. Okay. So I love that part when a pyro gets hit. And they're sweeping for body parts. It's the first time you meet Carolyn, and Breacher comes up and talks to her. She doesn't know who he is, and then he walks away. And then Darius is like, "You know who that is?" And some fed that thinks his shit don't stink, and he's like, "That's Warden Breacher. Like, he's a drug war god. Is that what we called him? He's a drug war god or something." And then that great line she says. He looks a little down, Darius. Why don't you go suck his dick? I just love that line because then it sets up their working relationship, Carolyn and Darius. Why do they call him Jackson in the cast? That's really upsetting on IMDb. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I gotta move on from that. That's really upsetting that IMDb would do that. That's what they named it. Anyway. Okay. Neck. Nailed it. Okay. Oh, and then right after that, not long after this, she's trying to get an interview. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and then it's ruled as accidental. But she's like, I still have an interview to do. And okay, fine. You know, so she's still following up on this, and we as the audience are like, we know that the trailer was put there on purpose. I mean, why in the world is he on? I never thought that it was on accident, that he might have done that on accident, parked on a railroad. I know he was drunk. They were celebrating. I get it, but I never thought that was an accident. I don't think she does either, even though it's ruled accidental. She's kind of like, okay, maybe not. He was drinking a lot. Anyway, when her and Breacher go to see Neck and interview him about, because he was the last one to see Pyro alive. And then the lights don't go on, and Neck's not coming, and they're like, okay, something's up. I love that scene where he's nailed to the ceiling. And she literally slips on his blood and falls, and she's just like covered in it. And she's like, "Can you help me up?" now it's her time. Now it's that character's time to make her real. And this scene does it perfectly. She can't handle it. She freaks out. Her hand is trembling. Can you help me up? And she can't even look at him. She's like, thank you. And she's got blood all over her face. And then literally right after that, she's trying to smoke a cigarette and her hand is trembling. And she's just, so it makes her character real. I love that they took the opportunity to make sure that every character was vulnerable to a point and real. And that scene definitely. And then you're like, holy shit, this guy was nailed to the ceiling. Now that's 2 in his crew that was killed post stealing this money. And now you're like, oh, okay, something's up. This is not an accident. This is not coincidence. She knows it too. She's like, there's something up here, and we need to figure something out because this is not okay. And then not long after that, when the crew starts arguing about, okay, now they know it's real. This is pyro might have been an accident, but Neck was definitely not an accident. Being nailed to the ceiling, being killed and then nailed to the ceiling and then gutted was not an accident. And so now they're like on the verge of like talking about stealing the money. You know, they shouldn't be because you never know who's listening. And I love that part when he says, always assume someone is listening and shut the fuck up. I love that. But then we get that little bit of a... I love Arnold. He's a big guy. He always will be. In mind and in personality. Just like Clint Eastwood. Even though Clint Eastwood was not a big guy physically, he was always a big personality, okay? But watching the preview of Cry Macho, seeing Clint Eastwood punch somebody at 96 years old or whatever he is, 93, 91, whenever he filmed that film, I'm sorry, that is not realistic. You are not 90-something and punching a 20-something-year-old. No. This, when he takes down Monster... No, it's Grinder. When he takes down Grinder and always assumes someone is listening, I'm getting to that, like, okay, it was okay this time, but I'm getting to the point where this guy is like a foot taller than you, and he probably outweighs you. I don't know that it would have been that easy to take him on. But even for Arnold, because now Arnold's, in this movie, I think he's in his 60s. It was probably filmed in 2013. Yeah, he's in his mid-60s, 66, 65, 66 when he filmed this film. And it's like, okay, you got away with it that time. I believed it because he wasn't pushing back. But if he pushed back, I don't know. I love Arnold, and I want to believe that he could never be, taken down. You the image in your head, of Arnold. But that little part was borderline, but you believe it because, like I said, Grinder doesn't want to fight back. He's not, and he even says, "I'm not going to fight you." Oh yeah, and when Lizzie leaves, now they know they're on alert. Now they're worried, and they think the cartel, one of the cartels or somebody is after them. They're thinking it's probably the cartel. And then Lizzie's like getting ready to leave, and she takes a gun and she takes condoms, but she's married to Monster, and they're in the house that they live in, and she's leaving. And I'm like, okay, it's not just the fact that Lizzie's hooked on drugs. Now I don't like her. Now I'm like, okay, there's something up. What is she taking condoms for? Why is she leaving? Even he's like, what the fuck? So that's the first scene where I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I trust her. I'm not sure I like her. I don't know what's going on with her. This is not okay. It's not just that she's hooked on the drugs. It's something else. It's something more than just that. And then that's when Carolyn comes to interview Lizzie and Monster. And I love that because, again, Sam Worthington, I like Sam Worthington. He's done some good stuff. Do I think he's the best actor in the world? No. For this, he did such a great job. I think that they overused him to further the plot and didn't give enough to other people. I think that Terrence Howard is amazing, although, like I keep saying, there's a reason why they didn't use him to further it. He ends up being, he ends up being one of the bad guys. But still, they could have used Grinder more, Anyway, I got to stop talking about that. So Sam does a good job. Sam Worthington does a good job at this character. And I love when Carolyn comes to interview them and he drives home to her how real this is. This is a cut above what you're used to, lady. You're getting in way over your head. You don't know what you're getting into. And he shows her the pictures of the people who have been tortured by cartel and what they do to people. And it really, not only her, it drives home that you're in over your head, but to us as the audience, you're like, she is over her head. She's not equipped to deal with this. I don't know, as the audience, it's been such a long time since I watched it originally, and I've seen it so many times. I don't know if I ever really believe it was the cartel. Like, is it really the cartel? Then they have that fucking amazing dual scenes that you think are happening at the same time, and then you realize they're not. And this is brilliant. I love this part, and it makes me want to work with David Ayer. Just the fact that he saw this, I don't know if this was the writing or if this was the directing that made this what it is, but it's brilliant. I love it. When Carolyn and Breacher go to warn Tripod that somebody is after the group, because Tripod left when they were being interrogated, Tripod left the group and he never came back. So he's on his own. And so Breacher and Carolyn, now that they know that the threat is real, Breacher and Carolyn go to warn him. And the two scenes are Carolyn and Breacher going to Tripod's house to warn him, and Tripod at home working on his car, and the way they cut them together, it looks like when Tripod hears somebody in the woods, it looks like okay, you just saw Carolyn and Breacher walking up, and then you see Pyro, he's working on the car, and he hears something, and he's like, whoa, and you think it's them. And you think it's the same time period, and you're like, holy shit, it's so well done. And then you see the guys in the forest, the cartel, and you're like, holy shit, something big's gonna happen. There's Caroline there, there's Breacher there, there's Pyro, and then you've got these cartel guys, and it's gonna get real. That's what we're thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh shit, this is gonna get real. And then you realize, holy shit, this is not the same scene. Breacher and Carolyn come upon the car and there's nobody there. And then Pyro is shooting at the cartel and you're like, whoa, this is not the same time period. And you're like, holy shit, wait, what? But they're cutting the scene like it is the same time period. I love it. I think it's very well done. Great misdirection. David Ayer, wonderful job. I love the camera, the use of where he put the camera. A couple of times he put the camera either on the gun pointing this way, you're watching him shoot, and it's very like jarring and crazy. And then at one point they have the camera attached to the gun, and you're looking in at him and down the barrel of the gun. And it's just as jarring and moving, so you know it's connected to either his hand or the gun, and it's such great camera work. I love it. And then you see Pyro get killed, and his blood all over the place. And then when Carolyn and Breacher, okay, I saw it happen this time. I accidentally hit my microphone and it turned the camera off. So hopefully this just continues. I was just talking about Carolyn Breacher coming up upon Pyro's, Tripod's death scene where he's dead, where he gets shot. The cartel kill him, which it sucked. Oh man, you're like, they got him. And then Carolyn and Breacher go into the house, and he's like, fuck. And the blood is black, which means it's been there for a while. And they've got dollar bills lining his body. And or they may not be dollars, they could be hundreds or 20s. I mean, I don't know if you ever really see what denomination. It doesn't matter. They are bills, like lining his body. And this happened this did not just happen. It happened a while ago. So I love that the two scenes are very well done, put together, and you think it's the same time period, and then you realize it's not. It's very well done, and all the camera work. And then that's when you're like, oh crap, it is the cartel. I mean, those were definitely cartel guys. He takes one out of the leaves, one of the guys who went over a booby trap and died, and he opens his shirt he cuts open his sleeve and it says Caibiles. So now you're like, holy shit, it is the cartel. The cartel is after them because they've probably found out that this group stole their money. And you're like, holy shit, okay, well, there you go. After that, okay. Again, we need to further the story. How do we do that? We asked Sam Worthington. This could have been somebody else, but Sam does a great job at this part. Monster goes to see Carolyn, and she knows he's not there for her. She knows he's there because he's scared. And you find out, yeah, he is scared. Why? Because now he realized that Tripod was killed, and Tripod was a Navy SEAL, and he is not. And so he is scared to a degree. And so he goes to her to give her more information. And what does he give her information on? On Breacher's past. Oh my God. That scene is so great. When they show Breacher's past, they do it concise and quick. It doesn't take forever, but it's so impactful. It's so great. They didn't need a whole lot of time, and they did such a great job. And Sam Worthington's narration, he does a really good job with this, narrating through what you're seeing, what happens. Now we get it. Now we understand about who Breacher is, what his past is, where he's coming from. Oh, the line. John is obsessed with finding his wife's killer. It's like a cancer in his soul. He does such a great job at that delivery. It's such a great revelation for us as the audience. Holy shit. Now we get it. And it ties into the opening scene, the opening video, and now we understand the opening video. And then two, it ties in, when he's washing his hands in the credits or whatever, Sabotage, and we see him washing his hands. Now we understand it. And it's such a great scene. It's just such a great scene. And you're like, holy shit, Arnold was messing up Mexico because he's trying to find his wife's killer, his family's killer, his son too. I love that. And then Breacher tells him to go home. And Carolyn's like, I didn't know. And that line, they sent me her face. What the fuck? And Arnold does a great job there too. I love that because it really does hit home. Like, they sent me her face. and you're just like, what the fuck? And then he just walks out, and you're just like, could you imagine being in his position? Like, I mean, unless it's happened to you, you can't really. It's just a great scene. Like I said, I love this movie. Such a great movie. Oh, okay. So then, Breacher goes to Carolyn's house to give her information, and then they end up sleeping together. And in the morning, Breacher's driving away as Darius is coming up. And Breacher waves. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right at all. I don't think his character, that's not in keeping with his character. I think that whoever decided to have him do that, it wasn't true to the character. I feel that's off. Breacher wouldn't have waved at Darius like, hey, no, I don't think so. Not at all. Not in a million years. If I were the director, I would not. I'm not a director, but if I were, or even if I were the actor in that position, if I were doing that character, like that just feels wrong. Breacher would not wave at him. That just doesn't feel right. Oh, right after that, I love that the DEA team, that part where they're all chill, they're all laying down, and they're like, what are we doing? We're just waiting. We're wasting time. We could be, throwing dollar bills at something, drinking and throwing dollar bills at something. And it's just like, they're just so like, and Arnold's sitting there smoking a stogie and everybody's just nonchalant, chill. And then they get the call and they're like, boom, out the door with their stuff, get ready to go. I love that scene. It's just such a great little, it didn't take long at all. And it's such a great little, like, the crew is falling apart, but they're still on their game. I love that little piece. The apartment scene. Oh God. When they raid the apartment, it's so sad. Again, they really brought this home. Like, that's one of the reasons I love this movie. They made it so real. When they go through all the apartments, it's so sad to see the people who don't have a lot of money, the poor people who are in these apartments, who are in these neighborhoods with, crack dealers and cartel people, or it turns out it's not the cartel, but druggies with guns and shit. It's sad to see that they're in the same apartment building. This could be, anybody, and that they're affected by this, that this DEA team busts in. They don't kill anybody. I don't think I see anybody innocent who dies, but just the fact that they have to deal with that because they don't have the money to live in a neighborhood that doesn't have that, it's sad. And like I said, again, it brings home the reality. You're seeing real people being affected by this team blowing through this apartment building because they don't know which building, which apartment these guys are in. And then when the shooting starts, you're just like, holy shit, you're hoping that one of the kids doesn't get hit. And would it have been too much for him to actually show that, like one of the innocent people actually getting shot by one of the drug dealers? There's that scene where he's holding the woman, but that woman was there with him. And come on, she must have known what was going on, who he was. But anyway, would it have been too much if David Ayer would have shown like one of the people getting shot, one of the kids getting shot, and having to deal with that? I just think that it's sad seeing them being affected at all. And could he have taken that a step further? Would it be necessary? I don't know. But the reality is, it just makes it so real. It makes it so great. And then I love that little. I laugh every time when he says it's not the cartel people, and Breacher says, "Well, check again," and he goes, "Okay, still not them." Sam Worthington is amazing. He delivers that perfect, and I mean perfect. It's hilarious. He does such a great job with that line. okay, still not them. It's so perfect. It's such a great little like, well, we'll check them again. How is it going to change? It's not going to change. I love that. That's such a great. It lightens it up just a little bit, but I mean, because you can't have a roller coaster that's all down or all serious. You got to lighten it up every once in a while with something that's not like we're not throwing Jim Carrey comedy at you, but we are throwing something at you to like lighten it up just a little bit, and because this is a very serious part, and they just had a shootout and blah 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 and killed some people, and you got to like, okay, break it up a little bit. And that part, that line was perfect in lightening it up just enough to go, okay, and then we can move on. It's still serious. We're not taking, it's not comedy. We still got it. I like that. The bodies okay, then they find the bodies in the lake. Then we realize, okay, these are the guys, these guys were killed. These are the guys who went after and killed Tripod. Somebody killed them and put them in the lake and has been using their DNA and their evidence to make it look like the cartel is going after the rest of the group. Now we're back to, oh shit, it's not the cartel. The guys the cartel sent are dead. So now we're back to, okay, now it's one of the group. It's so back and forth, like, okay, wait. Like I said, I don't ever remember believing it was the cartel until they had that scene with Tripod. Then I was like, okay, it is the cartel. And then not long after that, you have that scene with the guys, the bodies coming out, and you're like, holy shit, it's not the cartel. I mean, Tripod was killed by the cartel, yes, but not everybody else. And Tripod was killed, like they said, like a week ago. Okay, whoa. Okay, so there's somebody's doing this, and it's not the cartel. So who is it? So now we're like, okay, great. Now it's a mystery again. So Arnold has done some stuff in his repertoire that is just ridiculous and stupid and fun and whatever. And even he says, I mean, you got to promote Red Sonja, even though it wasn't the best movie in the world. And it's fun and it's just crazy. I like it. I think it's nostalgia. I love it. The music, the ridiculousness of it, I do. I enjoy it. And then he's done some stuff that's really serious and really great. Terminator, Predator, True Lies. He's done some amazing stuff. That's comedy. That's fun. That's believable, like Kindergarten Cop, kind of, and then he's done the outrageous comedy, which is Junior, and that's just outrageous and fun and crazy. And throughout his career, he's done some parts where you're like, okay, that's not the best. He's not Robert De Niro. He's never going to win an Academy Award, But then sometimes he has that one scene where you're like, damn. If he really digs, if he really tries, he can be a really good actor. And I think Maggie, like almost the entire movie of Maggie, in my opinion, he does such a great job. Maggie and Aftermath, such a great job at acting, at being an actor, and really bringing home those emotions and bringing them through to us on camera and making me believe he is who he is. And this scene with him sitting there watching the video of his wife again. He doesn't say a damn word, but it's so amazing. His body language, the way he takes the drink, the way he lights a cigar and then watches it. You have no doubt this is a routine. You have no doubt that this is real, that he is literally torturing himself. Does he know that he's torturing himself? To a degree, he has to know that. But the fact that he just watches it over and he doesn't watch it over and over and over like multiple times a night. He probably doesn't. But you know by the way he does this that this is routine. That sometimes he gets in that place where he he's gonna watch the video and he's just gonna wallow in it. It's like a cancer, like they said. And he's just gonna wallow in it, and he's gonna live in that tortured space of watching his wife die and feeling like it's all his fault and there's nothing he can do about it. And still there's nothing he can do about it and nothing he can do about it. And the fact that he doesn't answer the phone, and when he turns it off and he continues to smoke in the dark, and it's just, everything's dark, and just an amazing scene. And you get that he is a tortured, it's a cancer in his soul. They were so right in that line. And this scene brings that home. Like, holy shit. He's just torturing himself watching this again. And then right after that, or after that. So now we know that it's not the cartel, that it's somebody. And then they have the confrontation. The team gets together and has that confrontation like it's one of us. We don't know. Again, Sam Worthington like drives that entire scene. It's one of us. We don't know who it is. Actually, okay, that's not all Sam Worthington. That's Sam Worthington and then Lizzie, the actress, Marielle Enos. Marielle. It's them two together that drive that scene. Arnold has a couple of lines, but they're driving the scene, which is great. But now you know Grinder takes off. We already kind of knew that because we already feel like Grinder's the moral compass of the group. We would like it to be Breacher, but honestly, we already know from the very beginning scene that Grinder is the moral compass of this group. Which I wish he had more to do. And then we find out that Lizzie tells Monster that she's been sleeping with Sugar. She's been having sex with she's having an affair. Now I really don't like I've had people cheat on me way too many times. I don't tolerate that at all. And once I find out somebody's a cheater in a film, or they're cheating on somebody, I'm like, I don't give a shit what happens to you from now on. I could care less about what happens to you now that it's revealed that you're cheating on your husband. If you have an agreement that you're open, I don't care. Have an open relationship. That's perfectly fine. But it's very clear that they did not have an open relationship, and she was cheating, and she was lying to him. Anyway, I'm done with her at that point. As far as I am concerned, at that point, I'm like, she's probably the bad person. Now, is that revealed yet? No, not at all. But at that point, that's what I believe. I'm like, it's her. It's got to be her. I don't like her. She's a cheater. She's done. Oh yeah. I wasn't sure if it was going to be her or if it was going to be her and Sugar, but at that point I was like, okay, she's definitely the bad one. She's got to be the bad one. Now that it's revealed that she's a cheater, but that's why they don't have Sugar's, Terrence Howard, his character. That's why they don't have Sugar with all these expository scenes where they're forwarding the story. Is because it couldn't be him. He and her are working together, and they're the bad ones. So why would they be the ones forwarding the plot? Yeah, I get it. I love Terrence Howard. He's a really good actor. He's done some great stuff. I mean, Traffic blows my mind. He does such a great job in that movie. And it's a little sad that he doesn't have more to do in this movie. I wish he had more to do in this movie. Grinder going to Carolyn, telling her about the money. Again, I already know from the very beginning that Grinder is the moral compass of this film, so it's not surprising at all that he's the one that goes to Carolyn and tells her about they did steal the money, but nobody has it. Like somebody's got it. But because nobody knew we took it, so somebody has to have it, and he thinks it's got to be. He thinks it's Lizzie, and she's playing Sugar and Monster off of each other. It's got to be, I think it's probably her. So that was not a surprise that Grinder's the one that goes to her. Oh God, yeah. And then he meets after that he meets Caroline and Breacher at the restaurant. Such a okay. We were getting kind of a lull in the movie, and then here it goes topsy-turvy again. The roller coaster goes down again. We were going up, we were going a little steady, and then boom, they drop you again. That scene's great. I ride the ship down. You could have a career after this. So I love that he really does care about his group. He even told Caroline, I care about them, and I fucked it up. I tore them apart, and I didn't know this was gonna do that. So to hear him tell it, he's like, we took this money to give us to bring us together, but all it did was tear us apart. He has that little scene before they meet in the restaurant. Then he meet in the restaurant. He says, I'm gonna take the blame. You can have a career after this. You're the one that you're the good one, and I've had my life basically, and I ride the ship down. And then and then Caroline says, we can protect you, and literally not a beat, and boom, he's dead. It's like, holy shit. And right, we see Lizzie's the one that shoots, like, holy shit. Oh, so now it's undeniable. It's definitely Lizzie. And then, they interrogate that woman. I mean, everything happens really quick when it happens. And then they interrogate the woman. She says, the officer or whatever. Lizzie left with a black male in a red vehicle or something. So they know it's Lizzie and Sugar. They know. That surprised me when he got shot. I mean, it's supposed to. We can protect you, and then boom, he's shot, like right in the head. Like, whoa! It was definitely a shock. I was not expecting that. I was hoping that Grinder was going to be one of the ones that lived, because, like I said, he is the moral compass. He is the good guy of the group, and I thought if anybody were to live, it would have been him, but apparently not. This is another thing that it always rang a little false to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. When Lizzie kills Monster, okay, that makes sense. She does it out of passion. She's upset. She's fucking high as a kite, I'm sure. I'm sure she's high. And she kills him. What doesn't make sense to me is that she cleans it up and then puts him in the fridge. I can kind of understand you tying him up and sticking him in the fridge, but it makes zero sense that you're going to stay there for hours to clean up all this fucking blood. It is literally all over the kitchen floor. You're going to stay there for hours to clean up the kitchen floor just to stick him in the fucking fridge, and then the blood is coming out of the fridge? That's just stupid. It's stupid. That was just bad choice. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. That rings way false. Why would she do that? Makes no sense. Somebody's going to find it. And if he's missing, they're going to search the house, and somebody's going to open the fucking fridge. It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Any way I try to rationalize that, I'm like, no, she wouldn't have stayed there for hours. She's fucking high as a kite. She wants to get out. She already knows No. Okay. Anyway, I love that crazy ass car chase. That car chase is great, where she's hanging out the back of the, what is it, a Monte Carlo? Sugar's driving. She's hanging out of the back of that, and then Breacher's in the truck. In the bed of the truck, like shooting at her. That it's such a great scene. Like how do you spice up a car chase? A car chase is going to be in just about every fucking action movie, probably. I mean, ever since I don't know. I don't know when that thing started, but like almost every action movie, there's going to end up being probably a car chase at some point in the action film, and to try to change it up, make it a little different, make it a little fun. I love the way he took this and did it. I just saw Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 a second time yesterday with friends of mine, and I love the way they did the car chase. One of the car chases in there with the little Fiat. That's fun. So you gotta change it up, make it fun. I'm not doing a spoiler, but I love the little car chase. What they do is fun, and it lightens it up. It changes like, okay, a regular car chase to something a little different, and I like the way this does it too. This a completely different feel, but still trying to change it up and make a car chase a little spicy instead of just a regular car chase. That she's hanging out the back shooting at him, and that he's, on top of the, standing up in the bed, like shooting at her over the top of the truck. It's such a cool, fun scene. And then boom, when they crash, that was so shocking the first time I saw it. It was so like, whoa, he hits the bicyclist, and it just the blood all over and then he can't see, and then boom, he crashes, and you're just like, it happens so quick. And you're like, whoa. Again, there's nothing that happens in this film, in my opinion, there's nothing that happens in this film that's outside the realm of possibility. And again, this shows that. Like, he's going like crazy. They've already hurt multiple innocents, and then he runs into the cyclist, he can't see shit, and then it's just great. Love it. I love it. They did such a great job with that. Oh my God. And then it blew me away. It really did blow me away. You just have this image of Arnold and every character that he does. And so in the beginning of the movie, you're like, they're stealing money. Like, that's not him. And, it's so great to see Arnold play this character, because it's not like characters he is used to playing. And then to find out that he's the one that fucking stole the money, and you're like, oh man, it was such a shock to me. Oh man, really? Arnold, what? I love that he plays this character. This is probably why I love this movie so much. It's so unlike any other character he plays. This is not This is not the good guy. He's not a very nice man. He's very tortured, and he tortures himself on purpose. And he's made some really bad decisions since his family died. Some really bad ones. And this is another one, just to find out that he's the one that stole the $10 million from the group. He's the one that set it up. They stole the money, and then he steals it from them, and then doesn't say anything. Oh, man. It's like, oh, fuck. And I'm not sorry to see him kill her. Oh, good. Fucking kill her. Kill it. I don't care. I was more shocked that he stole the money. Oh, man. Be a good girl. Walk away. Be a good girl. Walk away. I love that. That he just... calm down, walk away, and then she and her and Caroline and her just like, what the fuck is going on? She takes her eyes off him for a second, and then gone. He's gone. And David Ayer does such a great job at, having Arnold back out of the cam. That's great, just to signal that he's left. It's not that he's still there and we're cutting away from him. He's left. That quick little walk away, she turns, and he backs out of the cam, and he's gone. You're not going to see him. I love that. So great. And then we get that badass revenge scene that at the end with Arnold in Mexico, and I love that he draws it out, because we know what's going to happen. After he pays the Perrineau or whoever it is, Polizia or whoever he pays, after he pays the guy off to find out where the man who killed his wife, where is he at? He gives him the file. We know as soon as he does that, that's it. That's it. Breacher's going to kill him, and that scene where he's sitting in the bar and he's got the drink and he's got, it's drawn out, and I love that it's drawn out, because now we know it's going to happen, and now it's just like milk it for everything. Here's the end of the movie. We're done. The whole movie's over. We know this is the end, and we know he's gonna get him. And I love that he draws it out and draws it out, and then he gets him in the bathroom. And then I love that line when he says, I could kill your family, but I'm not like you. And he kills him, and you're like, fuck yeah. And then that shootout in the. Okay, so I said that everything in this movie, to me, feels like it could happen. Well, even this last scene, I know some people will be like, yeah, it's a typical Arnold where he takes on the whole fucking world and blah, blah, blah. No. What was drawn home, what I love about this, and what kept this real is that Breacher is trained. Very, very well trained. He is not a hired, a cartel bodyguard. No, he is a trained professional. And the fact that he can take these guys on does not at all surprise me. And the fact that he gets shot. I love it. The ending is done so well. I love when he sits there after he's killed them all, after the danger is gone, and he realizes he's shot. I mean, they show it before he sits. They show the blood coming down his arm, and then he sits, and he's shot. And you know that's it. He's dead. There's no way. And he doesn't care. He sits there. He has a drink. He smokes. He knows that's it. It's like a dying man's last wish. There's nothing left for him in the U.S. He's probably given most, if not all, the money away. There's nothing left for him to live for. The last thing for him to do was to kill his wife's killer, his family's killer. He's done that. Now he's shot, and he's okay with it. That little smile at the end. And he's okay with it. It's such a great ending. You don't see it. You know he's going to die. Great ending. Okay, so Sabotage. I love it. Arnold, in a character he doesn't, in a type of character he doesn't play a lot. And of all the movies after he was governor, I have probably seen this the most. And I can say that with complete confidence. I have seen this one the most out of all of his films after governorship. But I can also say I haven't seen it nearly as many times as I've seen these two movies. I've seen, and Conan and all kinds of other things. So, happy birthday, Arnold. I got nothing else to say. Love this movie. Go see it. If you haven't seen it already, if you like Arnold, this is amazing. It's a great film. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, I'll be in the normal room soon. I think they're coming tomorrow or the day after to put the ceiling in. And then hopefully after it dries, they'll let me, I'll be able to move back in there. So hopefully I'll be able to get you guys some Star Wars reviews soon. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I can't really tell because it got shut off halfway through. So see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching.